Can I show you something? This video is generated by AI. Pretty convincing, right? Maybe a little bit weird. But this video was created with an AI tool called Sora 2, and it's part of a wave of AI content flooding our feeds. In fact, there are now entire social media apps designed exclusively for AI videos, and there are more coming out from almost every major tech company. Which begs the question, who asked for this? Seriously, who is this for? And it's not just apps, it's AI is being pushed into every corner of our lives. And we are told it's the inevitable, unstoppable future. But for a while now, I had this nagging feeling. A feeling that whole thing is just a bubble. A massive one. $1 trillion bubble built on hype. And today, we are going to talk about why that bubble is about to burst and why surprisingly that might actually the best thing happen to us in years. So to understand how big this bubble is, we have to follow the money. And there's actually an obscene amount of it. Meta is pledging $600 billion for AI data centers by 2028. And this year alone, big tech is projected to spend over $400 billion on AI infrastructure. And the total AI market is estimated to be worth $2 trillion by 2026. These numbers are so huge that they are almost meaningless because no one anyway comprehend. So let me put this into perspective for you to make it better understandable. So we had the Apollo program, which put a man on the moon. It costed about $300 billion in today's money. It was one of humanity's greatest achievements, although still many people believe it didn't happen at all. But we leave it away and say it happened and it costed just a fortune of money. And tech companies today are spending that equivalent of new Apollo programs every 10 months just on AI infrastructure. So why? And how they can possibly expect actually to make all that money back? Well, for now, they don't have to, because all of this spending is doing something else. It's propping up our entire economy. And according to the Department of Commerce, investment in software and computer equipment accounted for a quarter of all economic growth last year. And some analysts even believe it's responsible for half of the US GDP growth this year. In other words, this isn't just a bet on the future, no, it's a way to make the present look a lot better and healthier than it actually is. And this is the first major sign of a bubble. Growth based on hype, but not on real value. But if you look closely, you can already see that the cracks are starting to form. And it starts with some shady accounting. An article from The Economist uncovered a fascinating trick. Companies like Microsoft, Amazon and Google have been quietly extending the estimated useful lifespan of their servers and AI hardware. So think of it like this. You buy a new car for work, you know it will probably last 5 years before it actually needs major repairs. But on your taxes you tell the IRS it will last 8 years. And by spreading the costs over a longer period, you make your profits for this year look way bigger than they actually are. And that's what's happening. As AI chips are advancing faster than ever, these companies are claiming that their old hardware will last longer. So it just doesn't add up at the end. And the deception is starting to catch up with reality. As a recent survey from the US Census Bureau shows that AI adoption among large companies is actually start to decline and the hype is fading. But here is the killer statistic. A report from MIT found that a staggering 95% of generative AI projects at companies are failing and they're delivering little to no measurable impact on profits. And all of that spending, all of the hype for a 95% failure rate. If that's not a definition of bubble, what is? Okay, so the bubble is going to burst. It will probably be messy and people will lose jobs, the market will crash. So is this the end of AI? Absolutely not. And to understand what's next, we just have to look back at the great tech bubbles, the dot-com crash of the late 90s, for example. You remember pets.com? Companies were spending millions, for example, on Super Bowl ads with no real business model, valued in billions, pure speculation. When the bubble burst, these companies disappeared. But did the company disappear? No, because you're using it right now. And this is the point where the weak ideas were washed away, and what was left were the giants like Amazon, Google, companies that use the technology to actually provide real value. And this is exactly what is happening also with AI. The bubble isn't the technology itself, it's the irrational financial frenzy around the technology. So yes, the AI financial bubble is real. It's been inflated by trillions in speculative spending and some questionable accounting. But when this bubble bursts, it won't be the end of AI. And we have to be clear here. It will be a correction, actually a necessary one. Because the truth is, the underlying technology is generally revolutionary. And the ability to build an app within minutes, for example, by just talking to an AI, that is not going away. No, the breakthroughs we are already seeing in medicine, from drug discovery to diagnostics, well, this will only accelerate. And the tools are getting better every single day. What will disappear are the hundreds of nearly identical AI slop tools. And the companies that can't secure another round of funding because their product isn't truly innovative will fade away. And the market will stop throwing money at anything with .ai in its name and start focusing on what's actually working. What will be left are the truly transformative tools integrated into the software and systems we are using every day. The hype will die down, but the utility will remain and actually grow to our benefit. And there is no going back. AI is becoming a fundamental part of our world, just like the internet did. The AI gold rush will be ending. But the real work of building the AI-powered future is just beginning. And in the long run, I'm incredibly bullish on that. So let me know what you think about this in the comments. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button.